to thank you so much for inviting me to speak about myself, and I will answer your interview questions as best I can. I think the first one you asked is like, what have you done? I'm like, well, okay. I think what you mean is, so I've been writing songs since I was about 13 years old, when my mother bought a grand piano and I taught myself how to play it. I've been singing since before I could talk because, of course, we all make sounds from the get-go, right? At some point we start going ga goo goo, and that can easily turn into a song. Children are very, very responsive to melody and to song. I find that children really like my songs, and I consider that to be one of the greatest compliments. So one of the things I've done is to be a singer all of my life. And I started writing my own little songs when I was a little kid, probably when I was like, I can't remember. I mean, I was writing poetry as soon as I could hold a pencil. So I've done a lot of that. I have a book of poems out called On the Dreaming Earth. Let me get that for you. Here we go. It's a little hard to see with the reflections. On the Dreaming Earth, that's available on, I think that you can find that on Amazon. And I've published in a lot of journals also. I've served as a literary editor for a literary journal, poetry editor for a literary journal. I've worked in the book business. I've been in the book business all my life, and that's one of the ways that I came into the craft of narrating audiobooks. I'm a voice actor. I've been using my speaking voice for a long time to make a living. And because of my background in the book business and my experience as a voice actor, I got into audiobook narration. So I've narrated, I'd say, over 250 audiobooks, probably, of all different kinds. And one of the questions you asked is what characters I've portrayed. And I think probably my favorite character, I've done a lot of, I did a series of Scottish medieval swashbucklers at one point. And those were really, really fun to do. And because of my Scottish accent, which would sound fake to a Scottish person, and you can ask my Glaswegian band, because I have a band in Glasgow, and I would never assume that I could really do a Scottish accent. However, I have been cast to do it a lot, and maybe my favorite role was in the World of Warcraft game. I played the part of Scottish dwarf, an irate shamanic Scottish dwarf. Merla, I think her name was, or Mryla of the Wildhammer clan, and she was alright. She was a problem. She was mean and feisty. So I've also done, one of my favorite probably characters was in a book called The Red Necklace about the French Revolution, a young adult title where I had to play an evil Russian count and a Romanian youth and a bunch of French people, of course. So that was a really fun title to do. A lot of the young adult titles are really great. The writers are really good, and the characters can be really fun. I did a fairy tale, a comic fairy tale called Once Upon a Marigold that had a lot of crazy characters in it. You can hear my character voice reel on my YouTube channel. That's worth listening to. That's the best thing to do. Is go to my YouTube channel, Carrington McDuffie, and you can look for that. That's there, and there's a ton of voices in about a 1 or 2 minute span of time. I've also done a lot of nonfiction, which I love. Everything from quantum field theory to genetic biology and economics and theology. I love doing nonfiction. I always learn a lot from that kind of stuff. So let's see, what else? As another one. Okay, you're asking me as an author, what is your whole process when it comes to writing? Whew. Okay, well, as an author, I mean, I'm a songwriter and I'm an author. I keep messing with this necklace because it's not hanging where I want it. I can see in my in my selfie here. When I'm writing poetry, that just an inspiration will come and I'll jot it down and I'll eventually work it into a finished poem. When it comes to songwriting, I just receive that. That's like a channeling job. I just hear something, I guess it's similar, but I hear something, I hear a phrase and a melody usually at the same time, or I might be strumming I write on an electric ukulele. I have a custom made electric ukulele that's like a miniature Stratocaster in a way. It was built for me by a guy in Cape Town, and I write. Let me get that for you. I'll show you. Hang on. So my writing process has a lot to do with that. Okay, 4-stringed electric instrument. And sometimes I'll just hear something and I'll start strumming, and then I stick with it. You know, I've been writing long enough to know that if an idea comes, don't just dismiss it as if it's probably stupid, which is really easy to do. I let it in. I let it in, let it in, let it in. And if there's a real idea there, it will build itself. I'll be able to feel it, and it'll be like, I can't wait to get, it's sort of like being in love. I can't wait to get home to work on it, you know? And then it reaches a point where it's complete enough that I can actually start crafting and editing, but you don't want to edit any sooner than that, because you'll lose the originality of your idea. So that's a lot about my I just can't get this necklace straight. But check this out. My sister gave this to me for my birthday, recent birthday. Isn't that fabulous? I just love it. Just sits a little too low. Okay, I know you didn't ask me about accessories, but I care about accessories. What else did you ask me? Characters. From my personal experiences, from anyone wanting a career in the entertainment industry, what advice would you give them? Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns, okay? Because everyone's going to be out there telling you what they think. So you better be really clear about your inspiration. And if you want to sell your soul, you can do that, but I don't recommend it. Have you always wanted to be a singer? Well, I've always been a singer. I've been releasing my own music. I've been recording my own music since I was about 15. I started releasing songs about, albums about, let's see, in 2014, I guess it was, looking for the right band, looking for the right producer or musicians to work with. So the first few records are iffy, but the last two and upcoming one are great, because I found my guys. The records to really look out for are Kiss Make Better. I'm going to get these for you. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. This was released in 2018, I think. That's a 14-song LP with my Nashville band. These guys are so good. And that's a great record full of really lush songs and great musicianship. Then last year I released this EP, I'm the One, okay? Same band. Let's see, here's the inside. It's a cool CD, actually, if you like physical product. And I want to show you a picture of my band. These are my Nashville guys. There we go. Oh, these guys are so good. So I just finished recording, this is a record before that. It's a little hard to see because, again, the reflection, Crush on You. But the upcoming LP due out, we're looking at a June release, is called Sweet Little Mystery. So the song that's out today is the title track for that record, and that will be an 8-song LP. We're very excited about that. When I say we, I mean my whole team, and I have a really great team in the UK and the US. One of the songs on that record also I recorded in Glasgow with my Scottish band. I love those guys. I don't know if I have a good photo of them, so you will have to look on my website, carringtonmacduffie.com, to find out more about that, or, you know, my Instagram feed. There's photos on there that have lots of great musician clips and stills. So there's a song on that record I recorded in Scotland that when I was on tour there in 2019. Can you believe it? Wow. And that will be on the new LP. I'm excited about that. What else did you ask me? Your music has been described as electronic with 80s indie and Americana pop. Would you say that's the best way to describe your sound? I am not the one to ask. I don't know how to describe my sound. It's been described by so many different ways. I've been compared to about 40 different artists, and rarely the same artist twice. And I take that to mean that there are a lot of different influences that come into my style. Definitely there's 80s in there, sure, it's indie. Sometimes it has an Americana feel. There's a pop sensibility. And I love electronic instruments, and I love the electric guitar. Electricity just completely fascinates me. So that is part of my sound, absolutely. And that relates to one of the other questions. Yes, I released a single called "The Kiss I Didn't Get Last Night" a few months ago. Two versions of it, a fully produced version and an acoustic version that I recorded again in Glasgow. Does the song give a good insight to where you're at musically right now, or is your style always going to be changing? I think my style is in a really good place. It can change depending on, it depends if you're talking about production or not, right? Because I did an acoustic version of that song that's very sensitive and very delicate and really poignant. And then I did a fully produced version of that song that's got a sexy backbeat and kind of a sunglasses at night feel to it. So both of those are consistent with my style. It's the songwriting that defines the style, and then the style can go whichever way the songwriting puts it. And in that case, there's two versions, right? It went acoustically and it went electrically. I'm doing the same thing, by the way, with Sweet Little Mystery. I'm working on an acoustic version of that song as well, in case I didn't mention that. So no, I don't think my style is always changing. I think in the last few years, I've found the right musicians who could really embody my musical intention, my sonic intention. And it takes really sophisticated musicians to be able to do that. And I've got them. I'm really happy about that. Would you like to move into TV and or movies? Well, I've been always told, and I've always felt, that my songs, my music, my sound, which is very atmospheric with a lot of space in it, even when it's kind of intense, is really well suited for music and television. I don't have any songs currently on music or television shows, but I think it's just a matter of time till that happens. And from the other point of view, I have absolutely zero interest in acting. Zero, okay? Voice acting's one thing, because that has to do with timing, pacing, melody, and all these things that I use, emotionality that I use when I'm singing. But as far as acting in front of a camera, no, I don't have any interest in that. I'm not interested in somebody else's lines, you know, and I think actors have a special skill. There's an empty space in them somewhere, and that space is available to be filled by whatever role they're playing, and so they step into that role. But I don't have that empty space. Let's see, any plans to tour? Well, no one can really make plans to tour right now, can they? So I have intentions to tour, and I'm sure I'll be back in the UK. I'm absolutely sure. No question. I don't know exactly when. We'll see, won't we? Do I write for other artists as well? I do not. You've done quite a bit of traveling. Where have you been? Some of your favorite places? Oh, I love the Hawaiian Islands. I'd go back there in a flash. Beautiful. The air is so beautiful. I love the Scottish Highlands. There's different parts of the Greek islands that I've also really felt an affinity for. And the Great American West. I speak to you from deep in the heart of Texas, the Lone Star State. And what is next for me to achieve? Well, today, to put together this interview for you, and to go and pick up a staccato 9mm gun that has been custom made for me because I enjoy target shooting. And also to continue work on a song that I'm in the middle of, that I'm excited about. But if you're speaking in a larger sense, well, I've got the LP to work on. I'm in the middle of mixing a couple different songs. I'm in the middle of a couple different music videos, and in the recording process of a couple of different songs, all of which will be on the new record, and videos there to support and create more creativity. Create creativity. That's what's next on my list to achieve, to create creativity and to remain in a sense of wonder at the mystery of it. And that's why that song is called Sweet Little Mystery. That's the other thing I want to say. And then I'll leave you to your own devices. That song is being released Valentine's Day weekend because it's a love song. But you know what? It's really a love song to mystery itself and to the mystery of new discovery. I like to write love songs because a love song can cut in so many different directions. And a lot of times people think I'm writing about a relationship where there may be no relationship whatsoever in the song, but I use the analogy of romance and love to express other ideas. So if you look in my lyrics, you'll find a lot of information about things that have nothing to do with relationships, that are really about, at least not personal relationships. What they're really about is a relationship with the world, with nature, with spirit, with myself, with music. A lot about relationships with music. I have a song coming up called Baby Played Me that's about my relationship to music. So keep an eye out for that. I hope you enjoy Sweet Little Mystery. The video dropped today. It's a really great video that we shot out on a lake in Texas on a very windy day. And it was a beautiful, exciting day. There was no one on the lake but us. And it made for a really mystical kind of a video. A very sweet, romantic, mystical, magical, sparkly, watery, flowy, mysterious video. So thanks for listening, and I hope that you find some inspiration from my music the same way that I find inspiration from music in general. And I wish you love and light.